part C is saying derive an expression showing the maximum utility that the consumer derives from the consumption of the two goods. Okay, so here what we're talking about is the indirect utility function. Colleagues, this indirect utility function is to give you the maximum satisfaction that you're going to get from the two goods. Okay, colleagues? Indirect utility function tells you the maximum satisfaction you're going to get from the consumption of the two goods. So we have to get that expression. So all that's happening here is this. Okay? We're going to get back to our utility function here. If you remember earlier on, we derived our Marshallian demand functions. Okay. So these Marshallian demand functions, these two Marshallian demand functions, we're going to put them back into that utility expression. Okay. Remember, the Marshallian demand function just shows you the quantity of y and x you can get with the income and the price of that good. So this y equals I over 2py and x equals I over 2px. We are substituting them back into our utility function. Okay, so for point C, part C, x equals I over 2px and y equals I over 2py. Okay, so remember our utility function is x times y. So we're going to substitute these two expressions into the utility function. This here and that there. So our utility function is going to reach x substituted with I over 2px y we substitute with I over 2py okay, then multiply I times I, you're going to get I squared two px times 2py, you're going to get 4pxy. 4pxpy. Okay, so this is the expression for our indirect utility function, which is going to give us the maximum satisfaction that we'll get from the consumption of good x and y. Okay. So that is part C. Okay. Yes.
So is it wrong to simplify it further, like if you introduce the square root and then you get income over 2 the root of pxpy?
No. Unless to simplify it further, unless you are starting, like for example, if you want to make I the subject of the formula, that's when you see roots coming in. But here you can simplify it further, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, it just remains like this. Okay. So this expression is what you call your indirect utility function, which will give you the maximum utility you get when you consume the two goods. Suppose you are given px equals 20, py equals 40, and income is 800. Find the value of the consumer's maximum utility in C. Okay, so we've been given values px, py, and 800. Okay, so income is 800. Px was what? Px, let's look again. Px 20, py 40. Income equals 800. So we just substitute into our indirect utility function. We'll say u equals I squared over 4px py. So substitute I is 800, so we say 800 squared over 4 multiplied by px 20, py 40. 800 squared times 800, 640,000 over 4 times 20 times 40, 3,200. So 640,000 divided by 3,200. 200 utils. Okay. So this is the maximum satisfaction you will get by consuming good X and good Y. 200 utils. Any questions? Part E. Derive the expenditure function which shows the minimum expenditures necessary to achieve a given utility for a particular set of prices. Alright. Yes, the expenditure function, this is the definition. It shows the minimum expenditure that you have to have to achieve a given utility with a particular set of prices. So this expenditure function, we're going to derive it from the indirect utility function here. Okay. We are going to now make I the subject of the formula. Okay. Make I the subject of the formula. So we're going to start it like this. U equals I squared over 4 px py bring this down. So I want to make I the subject of the formula. So this is how we're going to do it. First we're going to cross multiply. Okay, we cross multiply. So this is what happens when you cross multiply. We're going to say 4px py multiplied by u and I squared multiplied by 1 is so you're going to get I squared equals 4 px py u. Okay. Then get the value of x. To get the value of x, we need to get the square root, so that we remove this power 2 here. So you get the square root here. The square root of I is I. Okay. Then here, square root of 4 px py u. Remember 4 is a perfect square. Okay, so the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, then you'll leave px py and u in there. Okay. And this is your expenditure function. Any questions?